Hello everyone, this is Saurabh Maurya and once welcome you all on my YouTube channel Enjoy Literature by SM. In this lecture, I will discuss John Keats, the most important or most prominent poet of the Romantic era or Romantic age. When do we talk about John Keats? He was the second generation poet of the Romantic age because when do we talk about the first generation of the Romantic age, we know the Robert Southey, S.T. Coleridge, full name Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and W. William Wordsworth. When do we talk about the first generation of poets, these are three poets who belong to the first generation. These poets, also known as lake poets, because of the lake district. When we talk about second generation of the poets, then there are, I hope, four poets regarding second generation of the Romantic age. First one, John Keats, Lord Byron, P.B. Shelley, Percy Bysshe Shelley, and the last one, Leigh Hunt. Yeah. So here I will discuss about John Keats, the complete biography. I hope I will make two parts of this video of the biography of John Keats, and in first part I will discuss about John Keats. John Keats. When do we study or when we read the poem of John Keats, we don't have any word to appreciate him. In what a beautiful word he expressed about the beauty. He belongs to the Romantic era, Romantic age. Before studying John Keats, I would like to tell you romanticism. That what is romanticism? Do you know what is romanticism? Romanticism is that to feel the presence of absence. In a simple way, to feel the presence of absence is romanticism. Do you know when just I'm giving a fine example of this one. Just do you know this is a midnight. You are going alone on the road, and the side of the road there are trees only, trees only, trees only. And do you know when you step 1, 2, 3, 4, when you are alone, if there is just little sound of anything, you just turn back and see there is no anyone. Again you do this. You feel that there is someone, but there is no anyone. That's I say you. To feel the presence of absence is romanticism. In what a beautiful word John Keats described the beauty. A famous line from Endymion: a thing of beauty, joy forever. You can know this one. When we comes to the Ode on Gracious Nun, beauty is truth, truth beauty. That is all. So when do we talk about John Keats? When do we study John Keats? We know the actual meaning of beauty. Romanticism doesn't mean that this is your romance, and as like the now, a physical, right time in modern time. Nowadays, what is the time of the romanticism? What do we say? If you ask to anyone what is romanticism, he will say to you, that's physical thing. Everybody has different meaning of romanticism. They don't know the actual meaning of romanticism. Romanticism doesn't mean to any physical things. Romanticism means to feel, to feel. Nothing else. Just feel only. When do we talk about John Keats? He believes in supernaturalism. Do you know the beauty of nature? You know what a beautiful word he said, that beauty is truth and truth beauty. When we express it, the beauty of nature, it can't be changed. And you can never be, you can never see such a beauty. And this is the beauty that will never decay. If you have studied Thomas Carey, True Beauty, in that poem, he just described and this comparison between physical beauty and spiritual beauty. Physical beauty is that beauty which will decay as for time passes. But when we talk about spiritual beauty, that will never decay. What is physical beauty? What is spiritual beauty? I hope you know, but once I want to express to you. Spiritual beauty means the beauty that is, do you know, when sun rises, you just take the picture, the evening time of the sun, when just it's time of setting. What a beautiful picture of the cloud also, of the earth also, and of the nature also. And that is the beauty. The beauty that is when sun rises and you are on beach, you see the water of the sea that sprinkle, that shines the water in what a beautiful way. That is natural beauty. That is spiritual beauty. And this beauty will never decay. When do we talk about physical beauty, like modernism, then physical beauty means just as for time passes. That was a day when I was living in a childhood, when all of you were also. That was a day when you had a point of attraction to everyone. But this attraction will not forever. This will decay, not today, tomorrow, but will. But when we talk about spiritual beauty, then spiritual beauty will never decay. So, in truth, beauty is truth and truth beauty. This is the main point. We can say this is the main. I can say we don't have such a word to express about this. That how should we express? Do you know whether you express a lot of, we appreciate a lot, that will less to you. This is such a beautiful line of John Keats. When do we talk about John Keats? Already I said you, romanticism means something, or to, we can say, to feel the presence of absence. Just mind you, when do we talk about John Keats? He believes in supernaturalism. So what does mean? What does this mean? Supernaturalism. That's superpower? No. Supernaturalism means is that, do you know, this is a wonderful moment. This is a big moment, we can say, of for all of us, when for John Keats, I am proving here what is supernaturalism. This is your earth. This is your earth. All of you have seen this one. This is your earth This is your cloud. According to John Keats, just see the statement. When you are standing here, when you will see far, you feel that the cloud have dropped there. Or in the morning time, when sun rises, you see the moment of the time of this time. What a beautiful moment for kids. A poet who believes in supernaturalism. Supernaturalism means is that this is a wonder. This is not less than a magic for poet. You know, in your childhood, you have seen in your village and our city there are such a magician who comes. Do you know they cut half a man by magic? Actually, that is an art. That is not in real sense. That is an art. That is magic. But when you watch that, I mean, you see that, wow. Just you imagine. And for a poet, this is the amazing. This is a magic of every day. Every day, this is a magic for a poet. Just they amazed when sun rises. For them, here the cloud is further. The cloud is further for poet of the romantic era. The sun, just I'm not creating the real picture of sun, just only feel. I said romanticism means to feel the presence of absence, only just feel that what I wanna say to you. The sun is like a sun. Cloud, father, earth, mother. Earth, mother. Now you can sense here that what I wanna say to you. What does this mean? Supernaturalism. When the sun rises, yeah, as for the poet, the mother births the son. This is your father. And this moment, this actual moment is an amazing, is a magic for the poet. So, this is the actual meaning of supernaturalism. Yeah, I hope you understand this point, that what is supernaturalism in actual meaning. Yeah, so must understand here. You can draw in our, I think, book also. You may see this one. Next, we talk about John Keats. That here is a statement of John Keats, that according to John Keats, we hate poetry, or we hate such poetry that has palpable design upon us. What do you think about this one? According to John Keats, we hate such poetry, or we hate poetry that has to palpable design upon us. It means here the poet Keats, here the poet Keats want to say that poetry should be more indirect, communicating through the power of images without poet. According to John Keats, the poetry should be more indirect, communicating through the power of images without poet. If there is a direct meaning of a word, that is not poetry according to John Keats. Poetry should always be in indirect way. If there is indirect way, then that is your poetry or real poetry of the romantic age. So here, according to John Keats, I am just writing here. So I hope if you note down this one, if you drawn down this one, just I'm erasing this, and here I'm saying that statement of John Keats. Keats, इन्होंने क्या कहा हुआ है? Just listen here. That we hate poetry that has to palpable design upon us. Must remember or must know this point. According to John Keats, the poetry should be more indirect, communicating through the power of images without poet. Means just you feel only feel, nothing else. Means is that if a writer has written anything, if a poet written anything, any poem, just feel that only, nothing else. Just you see a picture, just imagine only, and this is the work of a poet. About poet, there is a, I hope, line, a quotation from A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare, that the lunatic, the lover, and the poet are all of imagination compact. These are out of your speculations. What they can think, nobody know. There is no any difference between lunatic, lover, and the poet. So this is a famous line from A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. The lunatic, the lover, and the poet are all of imagination compact. Must remember this point also. Yeah, let's talk about John Keats' biography. I hope you can understand this one, and you can also know that what John Keats want to. When do we talk about John Keats? Already I said you, he belongs to the second generation of romantic poet. I'm giving a description, a little description about John Keats here. He belongs to, when do we talk about the first generation? First generation of romantic poet. This is your W.W., also known as William Wordsworth. Second one, Robert Southey, or we can say S.T. Coleridge, Samuel Taylor Coleridge, and Robert Southey. Must remember this. The first generation of the poet of romantic age. This poet are also known as lake poet. Lake poet. Sometimes this question have been asked many times in NET exam also, TGT PhD also, LT also. I have seen many on this many entrances that just they will give you the chart of 4 poet and you have to sort out one. Other they will give you 4 options, and in every option you will find 4 or 3 poet, and you have to mismatch one or you have to correct one, or either you will have, they will ask directly to you, just you have to choose the correct option for the lake poet. They will not ask to you that why these are known to be lake poet. but they will ask to you about Lake Poet. So must remember this one. When do we talk about the second generation of the romantic poet? Yeah, when this is your first generation. Next, when do we talk about second generation? Second generation, second generation of romantic poet. Then here we can know John Keats, John Keats, P.B. Shelley, P.B. Shelley, Percy Bysshe Shelley full name, must remember this point. Second one, Lord Byron, Lord Byron, and last one, Leigh Hunt, Leigh Hunt. Lord Byron, if we talk about, here is a work of Lord Byron, Majappa. It was asked in NET 2020. Yeah. So when do we talk about John Keats, the second generation of romantic poet? Next one is your P.B. Shelley, Percy Bysshe Shelley, born on I hope 1792. Lord Byron, William Leigh Hunt. The most, many questions have been asked on P.B. Shelley, to a skylark or to the west wind. So must remember this point. This writer is very important in the second generation. So please write down this point, and I'm going to teach you about my own topic, which shall I discuss John Keats' complete biography. This video will in two parts, so must remember. Just I'm going to erase all this. When do we discuss John Keats? His life was very hard. When do we talk about John Keats' life? What a life he spent. He had always a problem of money. This was the main issue for John Keats. First, and the most big problem for John Keats' family, that was tuberculosis. This is a big issue in his life. Due to this disease, tuberculosis, he was also died. His parents also, one brother also. So we can say that he has not longer, but within few years, within few ages, he wrote in such a beautiful way that he will always be remembered to us. So without wasting time, let's start John Keats. When do we talk about John Keats? He was born in 31 October 1795 at Moorgate, London. When do we talk about his parents? Parents in father was Thomas Keats, and mother was Frances Jennings. Father and mother Frances Jennings. Yeah, must remember this one. When do we talk about the parents of John Keats? His father name was Thomas Keats and mother was Francis Jennings. The occupation of his father, Thomas Keats, was stable keeper. Stable keeper. What does this mean? Stable keeper. In easy way, just know this one, that stable keeper means hostler. Hostler or ostler. Both are the same. Means at that time, we hostler means, we can say, a person who take care of horse, that is stable keeper, and he hasn't got this job from by own ना, उन्होंने खुद से नौकरी नहीं पाई थी भाई. There is a big hand of someone else, his father-in-law. ये जो, do you know, John Keats got this job of stable keeper by his father-in-law. Father-in-law. When do we talk about John Keats, that he got this job by his father-in-law, that was John father-in-law. His father-in-law name is John Jennings. John Jennings. Must know this point. This is very important point for all of you. When do we talk about the place, that what was that place, that where the father of John Keats, Thomas Keats, was working? The place name was Swan and Hoop Inn. Yeah. When that talk about its place, it's Swan and Hoop Inn. INN. Do you know, in childhood, John Keats had to face many problems. The main and big problem was money at that time, because there was not a lot of money in stable keeper. There is not a lot of money in stable keeper. Right now, if we talk about stable keeper, then we can show here, we can see here that as an employed person of right now, just like if you are, you can say, any labor, such a work, in this little work, in this in this little, post, how much can he earn? And from the father, when we talk about mother, this is your father-in-law. When we talk about mother-in-law, yeah, was Alice Jennings. Alice Jennings. So much remember this point. Next, we talk about the offsprings of his parents. Then there are 4 offsprings. 4 offsprings. There is one daughter whose name was Frances Mary. First one, सबसे all the eldest one was John Keats. John Keats, Keats. And after that, George Keats, and Thomas. His name was Thomas, and whether name was Tom, because the same name was also his father. That's why there is like a subtitle. You know, all we have second, 2 names. First one, that is a good, which is going in our schools, college, professions. And second is, that's your domestic name. Yeah. So here also of name Tom. He died in infancy. Must remember this point. Tom died in infancy. Infancy means in his childhood. Tom was lost in his infancy, means in his childhood. And last was Francis Francis Mary, also known as Fanny, a name like Tom. In four, in his brothers, George was only the married one. I will tell his name. I mean her name. Whom did he marry? George. Thomas was not married, just lost his age. He was loving someone but couldn't get that. This is a time of everyone. So don't waste your time to getting someone. Just do you study, do better for your life. You will know the importance of that time when you will lose someone. So be and keep reminding all these things. Okay. Next we talk about George Keats was married one in his brothers. In his brothers. Tom died in infancy. She was, when we talk about Fanny, she married with a Spanish author. Yeah? Okay. Next, when we talk about the date, birth date of John Keats, John Keats was, he was thinking that he was born somewhere in a good place, but that was not actual one. And according to his parents, John Keats was born on 29 October. According to John Keats' parents, that he was born in on 31 October 1795. Here is actual date of birth, but according to John Keats' parents, he was born on 29 October 1795. But when we see the actual date of birth of John Keats, this will found in the register where he was baptized, and this was the baptized name. This was the baptized, and also this is the time when I'm going to tell you that in which dictionary, sorry, in which register he was registered. And before telling this one, I would like to tell you this is a time of his date of birth when John Keats, when H.T. Coleridge, just I am going to some historical background here. H.T. Coleridge met to W. William Wordsworth. ध्यान दीजिएगा. Must remember this point. This is the time of his date of birth of John Keats, that in this same year H.T. Coleridge, Samuel Taylor Coleridge met to William Wordsworth. And at that time William Wordsworth was in Somerset. The place name Somerset. And as I remember this one, that is the summer time of 1795, that William Wordsworth started writing his pledge. The pledge name was The Borderers. Pledge name was The Borderers by W. The Borderers. This was the pledge, only pledge by William Wordsworth, that was written between 1795. I hope here is place or not. Are you watching here? Yeah. Between 1795 to 1797, he written this work. And with the publication of lyrical ballads, Romanticism began. Yeah, Romanticism began. The main issue, do you know, sometimes this question have asked many times in exam. What is the exact timing of Romanticism or Romantic age or Romantic era? There is just so many works you will mention here, but you have to choose only lyrical ballads, which was published in 1798 in the first collection. Yeah, there are, I mean, four parts of the lyrical ballads. First part came in when we talk about lyrical ballads. Lyrical ballads. This is the collaboration, the first part of St. Coleridge with William Wordsworth, and it first came in 1798. The second edition came in 1800 with its preface edition. Third edition came in 1802 with which was added diction, and the last one came in, I hope, 1805. So must remember this point. I mean, these questions have been asked many times in a NET exam also, that when diction was added in lyrical ballads, or when preface was added in lyrical ballads, or in which part it was added. Then preface was added in second part of the lyrical ballads, and diction was added in the third part of lyrical ballad that came in 1802. Yeah, so I'm writing here, must remember this. First part came in 1798. First part. Second part came in 1800. Second, and in second part here preface was added. Preface was added. Third part came in 1802, and in third part diction was added, and last one came in, I hope, 1805. Must watch, I am not clear for this one, and the fourth one came in the 1805. Yeah, and this is a time of all this. Next, here we talk about the baptization date, that where we got the baptization of John Keats. It's Botolph without Bishopgate. The place name is Botolph without Bishopgate. Must remember this thing. I know this writer is very important, this poet is very important, and there are, I mean, there are asked so many questions from this writer. Mostly if we talk about Endymion and Audun, Gracieux Nunn. Two famous lines from these poems asked several times in NET exam also, TGT, PGT also, GIC also, LT also. PG intentions, that is common, either we talk about CU, CET, BHU, DU, JNU, anyone. So must remember these two lines. First one, Endymion, a thing of beauty, joy forever. Second from Audun, Gracieux Nunn, beauty is truth, truth, beauty. That is all. Yeah. So here we see that the baptization date, that Keats was baptized on 31 October 1795 on Botolph without Bishopgate. This is the, I hope, place. Do you know what is baptization? What is baptization? Do you know this is a, we can say, Christian rite or Christian rule, and according to this rule, a baby taken to the Christian, and after that the church man, I can say, take the pure water, according to their rule, take the pure water, and they, whether they pour that water on the head, must remember, on the head only, not full body, on the head of that baby, or son, or they sprinkle on her or him. That is your baptization. As we can say, we can take so many examples like this one. We can say Shakespeare. He was born on 23 April 1564, but baptized on 26 April. In same way, his daughter Susanna was also, yeah, born on 26, I have 23 November 1582, but baptized was 26 November 1582. Yeah, we can say also John Milton also, but that is not the same time. So here we can say this is your baptization date. Next we talk about John Keats. Here I have mentioned here about the John Keats. I wanna say to you that when he was baptized at Botolph without Bishop Gate, at the time he was sent to the local dame school. His parents, Thomas Keats and Francis Jennings, they want to send to Thomas Keats in Eton College or Harrow College University. But I already said you that money was the main issue. This was the big issue for John Keats. They had everything, they, but they had two problems. John Keats knows very well. He was, mature one. He says everything. He had so many positive thoughts. He was of the positive mind, and also we can say Keats was a positive man. He faced all these problems. When he was at the age of 9, in before in 1803, I think that was the summer time, 1803, he got the academic prize. In 1804, he lost his father. After that, his mother, so just she did second marriage, but soon she left. And without, before the death of her own, her mother gave the responsibility of care or caring her children to her mother, who was Alice Jennings. Already I have mentioned here. Where is she? Alice Jennings. Sorry. Yeah, here. And just here I am going to the brief description about this one. So if you have since all this, if you have to note down any point here, just note down. I am going to just further. Yeah, so please note down all this. I hope you may understand this one. You must remember all these points, and these are the questions that will help you in your TGT PhD exam also. Either you are going to give the NET exam, then there are also asked so many questions from this topic. Likely, mainly we say that Endymion or Wodan Gracianon. There is the two main important. I am saying again and again about Endymion and Wodan Gracianon because I solved so many questions from this to the NET exam also, TGT PhD also, and in PGT that is common for everyone also. Yeah. So here I have mentioned here John Keats. I will discuss here about his schoolings and all this. When I said about Fanny here, just I am writing here Fanny. Her full name was Frances Jennings. Frances Mary. She married to Spanish author. She married to Spanish author whose name was Valentin Llanos. Yeah. And after that, when we talk about John Keats' father, already I have discussed here that his father was a stable keeper, and at the time at this post on this post there were no more salary. This was the main reason that his family had to face on one problem, that was money. Yeah. So here now we will discuss about John Keats' schoolings and about his some more important time. In the summer of 1803, that is the time of 1803 summer. Already I said you that John Keats' parents want to send to John Keats in Eton and Harrow College or University, but they can't. They changed their decision because they can't afford the fees of that college or university. Yeah. So in summer 1803, he was sent to John. He was sent. John Keats was sent to John Clarke School. John Clarke School. When do we talk about John Clarke School? Do you know this school was not a big but most prestigious school of that time and now also. When we talk about John Clarke School, this is the school where John Keats got a friendship or was friendship with the headmaster's son, Charles Cowden Clarke. Yeah, John Clarke School was near to his grandparents house. Must remember this point that John Clarke School was near to his grandparents house, and must remember this point once I am going to tell you here. And after that, here John Keats make a friendship or got a friendship with headmaster's son. Headmaster's son, whose name was Charles Cowden Clarke. This is very important. A friend also, a mentor also. This is the friend of John Keats, Charles Cowden Clarke, who introduced Keats. I can say here, this was the friend of John Keats, Charles Cowden Clarke, who introduced Keats to the Renaissance. I mean, here we can say Charles Cowden Clarke introduced Keats to Renaissance literature, including Spenser. Must remember this point. In Spencer, 14th century, Edmund Spencer, mostly famous for his Fairy Queen, and this is the most important point. And when we talk about here Charles Cordon Clerke, he introduced kids to Renaissance literature. Spencer, Tasso, Tasso, and Chapman's Chapman's translation. Yeah, must remember this point. And next, when we talk about, must remember Charles Cordon Clerke, who was the friend. He was the friend and mentor also, mentor of John Keats. Next, we talk about John Keats, that the young John Keats was described by his friend Edward Holmes. जॉन किट्स के एक फ्रेंड थे, कौन भाई? एडवर्ड होम. एडवर्ड होम. दैट इन्होंने एडवर्ड होम्स डिस्क्राइब जॉन किट्स that he was a volatile character, that he was a, yeah, also you can say man of volatile character, volatile character. Yeah, what does this mean, a volatile character? A volatile character means is that when do we talk about Edward Holmes, the friend of John Keats, he described to John Keats that he was the volatile character, and volatile character means always in extremes. This means always in extremes. Yeah. Do you know John Keats was the most important poet of Romantic age. Whether how do we appreciate John Keats? We can't get him. In what a beautiful word he expresses all his words or sentence that touches our heart, our mind, everything. Next, we talk about John Keats in April 1804. Where do we mention here? When we talk about John Keats in April 1804, April 1804, this is the date of death of his father, John Keats. Thomas Keats. When Thomas Keats was returning to visit the schools for John and George, then in returning, because he was returning from by his horse, at the time he was riding horse because he was stable keeper. This is a simple point for all of you. And when he was returning, he just whether his horse stumbled or anything, he just fall down, and after that there is a big wound, we can say, in his head, I mean his skull, and due to that wound, due to that hurt, he died. Yeah, so must remember this point, April 1804. And after that, her mother Frances Jennings married to someone, but soon she left her, I mean him. दूसरी शादी तो कर ली, बहुत ज़्यादा दिन चला नहीं, क्योंकि दूसरी शादी साल चलती है. If that is soon, that is वो चलता है, but that is long soon, never. So must remember this one. Next, we talk about her mother, about John Keats' mother, Frances Jennings. When do we talk about Frances Jennings? Then, before her death, Frances Jennings gave the responsibility of his, I mean, offsprings to her mother, who was Alice Jennings. Here I am describing Alice Jennings. Yeah, we all know about Alice Jennings. That who was Alice Jennings? Okay, तो अब यहाँ पे here means we discuss that John Keats' mother Frances Jennings gave the gave the responsibility of her children to her mother Alice Jennings, who was living in the village of Edmonton. So must remember this point that Alice Jennings was she was living in the village Edmonton. It's a fixed one. You all know that she is her mother. I mean, mother-in-law of Thomas Keats. So she would be old. It's sure. And having old, I mean, in her old age, how can she take care of her grandchildren? That's why she means Alice Jennings appointed two people. First one, when we talk about Alice Jennings, then Alice Jennings appointed two persons. First was Richard Abbey. Must remember this point. Richard Abbey. First was Richard Abbey and second was John Sandel. John Sandel. These are the two guardians. Two people means two guardians. These are the two guardians whom Alice Jennings appointed to take care. And after that, here must remember a point. Richard Abbey, John Sandel will only be here, not anywhere else. But Richard Abbey, you will see further. Yeah. So after the death, when do we talk about Richard Abbey? Then Richard Abbey, in the autumn, Keats left. In the autumn, I think that is the month of February or March, I hope. John Keats left the John Clarke School. Yeah, not Tom. Keats left Clarke School. And after that, when he left Clarke School, he joined he just joined to apprentice with Thomas Hammond. Kids joined for apprentice Thomas Hammond. Must remember this point. Here he will take a much more important. He was the neighbor. When we talk about Thomas Hammond, He was the neighbor of Alice Jennings. He was also a doctor and neighbor both. And Richard Abbey, whom I said you, this will not take the important further, but he will take much more important. This Richard Abbey had a good connection to Thomas Hammond. Yeah, so must remember this point. And after that, when John Keats joined to Thomas Hammond for his apprentice of surgeon apothecary, and at that time he joined and he lodged there till 1830. Near how many years I can say, 4 or 5 years. I'm not much more confirmed for this one. And this is the time. This is the time that where is John Headmaster Charles Cording Clarke. The time that John Keats spent in apprentice, according to Charles Cording Clarke, this was the more or most placid year of John Keats. Cording Clarke, he stated for this time that the most placid time in Keats' life. This is, sorry, I have to swipe something here. Just whatever I am going to teach, just must remember, and after that note down. Here Charles Cording Clarke stated that the most placid time in Keats' life. Most important line from here. First was by Edward Holmes. He said stated John Keats as a volatile character, and here the most placid time in Keats' life. Yeah, so must remember this point. Next we go here, and the most important very bad time of the Keats' life, that was the death of his mother, Frances Jennings. That was the time of March 1810. This was the time of March 1810, when at the age of 14 years, Keats lost her mother. She died with tuberculosis. Her father, his father died from skull damage, or we can say skull wounded. His mother died of tuberculosis. His parents, his one brother also died of tuberculosis. So this was the, we can say genetic problem, or we can say hereditary. And this was the big problem for John Keats, and he will also died of tuberculosis. This is very sad, but what can I do here? Okay, next we go here. When Keats' mother died of tuberculosis, she left a legacy of $8,000. She died. Frances Jennings. Next we discuss here. Frances Jennings left legacy of $8,000. And John Keats' grandparents, I mean, who was, I hope, Thomas, or sorry, where have I here? So sorry, I have Ellie Jennings and Tom Jennings, I hope. Thomas Jennings. Also, he provided the bequest of $800. But this was the bet here that he will not get it immediately. When John Keats was or will be the age of 21 first birthday, then he will get this legacy. Nobody tell to John Keats. Mostly I hope Richard Ivy know this one, but this blame was on him. And here was a one person only who knows all this, and his name was William Walton. There is only one person who knows about this truth of this one, and his name was William Walton, and he was the solicitor of Alice Jennings. William Walton. Must remember this point. This is the most important point. That there nobody know, but only one person knew this. William Walton. He knew this truth of legacy to Keats on his 21 first birthday. Who was William Walton? William Walton was a solicitor. Solicitor, we can say right now in our, advocate. He was the advocate of Alice Jennings and Francis Jennings. Yeah, okay. Next, I hope this is enough for one part. And in my second part, this is all. One point more, this is most important for all of you. Must remember this point that money was the big issue in his life, in his whole life. We can't say that when his poems were going to publish, then he just, at the age of 13, he started his study and got the first academic prize. Just here I am writing it down here. I am writing here. That at the age of 13, when his apprentice was with Hammond, Keats registered as a medical student. जो Keats साहब जो थे हमारे, Keats registered at as a medical student. Okay, and after that at Guy's Hospital, okay, when do we talk about Guy's Hospital? Guy's Hospital is a part of King's College. Yeah, okay, okay. Next here मैंने आपको बताया कि when John Keats was at the age of 13, he started his study and got the first academic prize. First academic prize when he was at the age of 13 years. And at that time, when Do you know when he joined medical college? I think this October 1815. Must know this point. When he was registered admission in Guy's Hospital, that was the time of October 1815. I am just coming back here. In 1813, 1813 की यहाँ पे बात कर रहे हैं. And after that, here we can know about John Keats, first academic prize in 1913, and after that he just started writing poems. He just write a poem in I hope 1814, an imitation of Spenser. And I hope this is all for today, and I mean for this lecture. And in my second lecture, I will discuss in details about his works, some important time of John Keats, and do you know there are some collections of like the Examiner, where his works were published, and he made to Leigh Hunt also, and there are so many. I hope you will get some writers also. So I hope this video will be better for you, and you can understand this video. Really, I tried my best as could I, and I will try to give my best in my second lecture also, that you will understand easily. Yeah. So, and after that, after my second lecture, I will discuss on John Donne, father of love, everything. He is the most important. Also, this one is also most important. Yeah. So, thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much.